How's it going, guys? We're finally back for another SBT recap video where we've been gone for how many weeks, and we're back to talk about the mid-season recap. And I'm here today, Mams, and I'm not alone. We actually have Gene with us.
Hey, what's up?
We have Swampy with us as well.
Yo!
And Tyler, of course.
Hey guys.
And we actually have a special guest who wanted to join us today as well, and that would be Stumbles.
Resident Monotype Match TV. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so Stumbles is graciously accepted to join us for this recap. Everyone's been waiting for this recap. Obviously, we haven't done one in a while, but now we're gonna get into a summed up version of what we're trying to accomplish here throughout the missed weeks, and yeah, I think we can just get right into it. How this one's gonna work, guys, is we're actually gonna talk about the early power rankings that we made in the beginning of the season and how they compare to the standings and how they are now, and then we're gonna talk about each coach and how they fared throughout the season and how they made it to where they are now. Just so we don't leave anyone out. Plus, we have some newcomers we want to talk about, so we're going to get into them as well. And then we can actually get into the kill leaders and talk about some pivotal matches throughout the season in each league. So without further ado, we can take a look at the power rankings from early season. And of course, I'm going to have them just on the screen there while we talk about the standings and how they kind of differentiate. So let's talk about C League right now, and we can take a look at how C League has developed from the beginning of the season. Three newcomers since the beginning of this season in Caitlin, Wolf, and Dix. We're very glad to have all of them. I think you guys can see the power rankings and the standings in front of you there. We can just actually talk about each coach from the bottom up, and how their season has summed up thus far. So, guys, you want to talk about Wolf for a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. He's sitting at 0-9 there.
Yeah, he took over. Who did he take over again?
It was
Gojira, right?
No. It was
Pikachu.
It was Pikachu.
Oh, Pikachu. Okay.
I think he already came in with a loss.
Yeah, well, he came in. I think. What week was it that he took over?
It was like the start of week 2.
It was like the beginning of week 2 or something. Or
F loss against Piran when he came in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because his transaction's saved from week 2. Yeah. So.
It's been a rough season for him, I guess.
He is not. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he hasn't. I don't think he's been. It's not that his prep was off point, and I love the Earth Ring that he keeps bringing. It's a very nice wall breaker.
Oh, wow, 4-6 for an 0-9 team. That's like pretty good,
right? Was that his kill leader?
Mega Venusaur's.
Mega Venusaur's. Okay, Mega Venusaur's his kill leader at 7 and 8. Yeah. You look at the rest of his team.
I respect the mascot pick. Maybe not the best option competitive-wise.
Yeah, the Earth Ring can always be a nice wall breaker, right? And then let something else kind of sweep late game.
Yeah.
But
he didn't just pick it; he's like actually getting kills with it every match.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
He's drafted it before, and obviously it's his mascot, so I think he really enjoys the mod. It does some work, right? Like the Guts facade, it really does a lot of damage, especially if it's a sword hand. So.
Yeah. What's it's his abilities, Guts. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Guts.
And
well,
quick
feet is another one, but he's not that fast. So.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah.
And
Guts back.
You can't run Flame Orb. You have to run Toxic Orb with that.
Who does he have left? Who does he have left?
So Wolf actually has who does he have? He has Star left, and he also has Fire Eye. So 2 other coaches.
He might be able to get a win there.
He could still get a
those
win.
games.
Like he could probably clutch it out if he tries. He had Griffin this week, and Griffin actually was able to clutch out that win, I believe. With
Griffin
the
did win this
Volcarona
week.
sweep, yeah. So,
Yeah,
spoilers,
Griffin's
by the way.
second
But
Which leads us to the next person.
yep.
on
So
the
the next
rankings.
person that we can talk about is Griffin and his team.
Griffin.
He's sitting at 2 and
Wow.
7.
That's rough, too.
I would say that to start with, the team that he drafted was absolutely terrible. But
Yeah.
he's obviously made some changes.
Mhm. Well, when we did the power rankings, we actually had Griffin on the bottom. We had him at 12,
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and he's proved to not be on the bottom. He's sitting at number 11 at 2 and 7.
Yeah.
Not the best differential, honestly, and still his team has a bit of quirks there. He obviously has Sand still, and does he have Sand actually?
Did he drop?
Yes.
He dropped a few of those months. Did he drop the mega camera?
Yeah. Okay. So his team had a complete makeover, obviously, but he did drop his Sand setter, but he still has the Stoutland. So
I've seen him manually set sand.
Yeah,
He
he ran like Sandstorm Skarmory or some shit this week.
it was Crook, I think.
Didn't we
right?
have sand rush
Oh,
on the
Crook,
snout?
yeah.
But his
Right.
his Stoutland wasn't Sand Rush. So
Fair.
so he's still doing some work with that Volcarona though. It's sitting at 6 and 5, right? And then Sableye
5 and 3.
5 and 3.
I mean,
so-
part of it's percent like he said it before. He completely
If
hates
you
it. all,
if you're
right?
running Volcarona on your team, you're so much. That thing is just built to sweep.
yeah.
Like
If you can set it up properly, obviously the rest of Griffin's team is very fat, so all he really needs to do is just stall for a little bit until Volcarona comes in and sets up and then sweeps. But some coaches are a lot smarter than that, and they know how to work around it. Anyways,
he hates what he drafted, and he gives up really early on in matches.
well, the thing
Yeah,
about
I mean, I get it. It's just
I don't know. The thing about Griffin has always been that he's in it to have fun, right? He's in it to play some mons, have a good laugh, and
hyper
then
competitive.
yeah.
so it's not as long as he doesn't take it personal and start calling people out because of the hacks or whatever. But
Yeah, he's been good about that. When he gets hacks, he takes it well.
yeah, exactly. That's all it really needs. We need people like that. So,
Right.
anyways, we can move up to actually the last two coaches that Griffin has for the week for the season is I believe FireEye, who we're going to talk about next, and who else does he have? He has it's Caitlyn as his last pick. So
Alright, well.
he might be able to. You never know. He might be able to steal a win there, but in any case, it just depends on the matchup. We can talk about FireEye now and him sitting at number 10. What did we have him at for the power rankings?
We had him fourth.
We had him 4th. Okay, so
Yeah.
obviously didn't perform as well as we thought it would with this team that he drafted, but sitting at number 10, 2 and 6, I think he was able to bring a couple of decent sets throughout the season, and
Got Drapion again.
Yeah.
No sand attack this time, but
no sand attack.
there's still time.
He had a decent start to the season. He lost his first game and
Mhm.
2 in a row after that, but
I
5
think
straight L's have really kind of
He
wrecked
could
his season.
win it with sand attack.
what I do like is that he had I think what Bolus would like is that Blissey is his kill leader, but 4 and 2, and that's including
He's
the fact
not-
that
he's
he has a
not-
Megalodios. So
It's Gastrodon like every other week.
Banded Gastrodon.
Anti-Gastron.
Attacks have both come.
I like the creativity though. He tries to make his own kind of sets, so that's not too bad. Obviously,
Right.
he has a
Nice
really
kills.
good he has a really good core, like Rotom Heat, Gastrodon, and Ferrothorn, and if he knows how to work them, or like he can make them work. But
I can't help but think if it was a Thunderous Eye instead of a Thunderous T, he'd be doing better.
Thunderous Eye might have been, just to add a bit more speed, but it's not like his team is slow. But
Yeah, I mean, he's just got so many electric resists already, it's kind of
Mhm.
useless.
Yeah, I mean, we know, like, he has the
Yeah.
Blissey that can soak up pretty much anything. Blissey plus Ferrothorn, like, you can just
Just
wish your
nasty.
Ferrothorn back up to health.
If you get a free turn with that, you just win the game.
Who's Fire I have left on the schedule?
So FireEye has Griffin left, I believe, and then he has Wolf. So we just talked about both of those two.
He has one more. He hasn't played.
Oh, he hasn't played his this week's match, and that's against Gryon, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm interested to see him versus Griffin.
yeah, I want to see his match versus Griffin and his match against Wolf. I want to see if he's able to clutch out those 2 wins there. But you know, you never know. Like FireEye's creativity over Griffin is positivity. You know, they kind of
Yeah.
you never know who could win. Anyways, with that, I think we can move up to our number 9, right? On the
Which
standings,
is Ganon.
we have Ganon and his Cranborn Cobats, who we
And
had
he was
at number
ranked
1.
number 1.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
his team
Yeah.
is very good. Like I'm still gonna say that his team is still very good. You know, he has the Garchomp, obviously, Mega Mawile, Torn T, Necrozma, Suicune. Like there's not too much that you can hate on this team.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess it's been tough with him trying to perform with it, especially against opponents like Riss and Caitlyn. But he has been able to get Torn T into the kill leaders, so 11 kills and 5 deaths there. I think he's been doing well with that, and this Garchomp has a lot of kills too, 5 kills. So alright, I don't see Ganon as more of like the offensive player. I think he's more like he tries to be calculated, and it just I don't know if he's able to preserve his win cons in the late game, or he knows, or if he's able to read his opponent that well. But there's obviously been some difficulty there because he hasn't been able to.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in my opinion. He gets caught on the switching way too often, and
Yeah,
usually it costs him like a lot.
Yeah, his opponent is able to read him, I think, and he's just not. I think he's making too safe a play sometimes, and then it costs him. Like it costs him momentum, or it costs him a mon, you know. So
Some of his prep options have been interesting too. Like he brought like Z Poison Tornadus versus Griffin's Clefable to beat it down, but the kill versus the team.
yeah, you know, like sometimes you need prep like that, but at the same time, like Z Hurricane is always, I think, the better option. But you never know.
Who does he have left on his schedule? He has
So he still has
3
3
matches left.
Yeah, he still has 3 opponents, being Risso, which, you know, it's gonna be tough, I think. But then he has Cell, which is another tough match, I think. And then he has Dix. So he has some pretty strong competitors left.
Yeah, he has a pretty tough schedule remaining.
Yeah. But you know, you never know. He can probably clutch it out if he tries, if he builds his team properly and actually just makes the aggressive plays every so often. You know, if he doesn't play too safe, and I'm pretty sure he can win.
Yeah.
Depends on the matchup.
Yeah.
With his team.
All right, you guys want to move up to St. Louis number 8? Where did we have him on the power rankings there? We had him.
Kieran?
We have him at
10.
10. So he was 10th place, and you know, now he's sitting at 8. So it's not too bad actually. He's been able to kind of stabilize where his position is. Still pretty low on the standings. Not enough to make playoffs, not yet. Especially with the competition he has left.
He can make it back to like top.
He has a chance to make playoffs, but he needs a lot to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his team is not bad at all. Like he has Manaphy and Mega Scizor and Incineroar and Raikou. He's been able to get Manaphy like 12 kills. So you know, it's pretty good. Like if he can get into a situation where Manaphy is able to sweep, then that's a good position to be in, right? Because Manaphy
7 and 6. That's pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he's not a bad player at all. I just think the competition he has is insane against him. So and maybe
if you look at the upper part of C League, it's actually kind of stacked.
Yeah, it's still pretty like, you know, it still has some really good players. So, and what Piran has left for his schedule is he has Ryan left, and then he has Risso, sorry, and then he has Cell. So he actually has some pretty strong competitors left over.
Tough schedule remaining for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, who knows? He could probably make it happen, but it's going to be tough for him. Him and Gannon, they kind of have to like try and claw their way back. But I know that Dix, our next person we're going to talk about, is making a push for playoffs himself. So I think he wants to make the. I think he's going to try to make it so that Gannon and Piran don't make it in there. But Dix is a new addition to C League, where unfortunately we had to have, I think it was Gannon, right? Or no, not Gannon, Godzilla that ended up dropping. Yeah, I think it was Godzilla that ended up dropping there.
Yeah.
And
A little more.
very unfortunate.
Originally, it was when he took. I mean, it was Godzilla's team. We had him ranked at 11.
Was it 11 that we had him? Yeah, it was 11.
Because the initial team was kind of bad.
The synergy to the team that he drafted wasn't that great, honestly, and obviously, like
he had like Mega Pincer and a lot of, like flying type mons with no hazard whatsoever.
Yeah. It was pretty rough, the synergy that he was able to draft there, but Dix, he was able to take over and actually completely make over the entire team. So it's looking pretty decent now. He has a lot of wall breakers.
He's sitting at 7 right now.
Yeah, he's
4-4. Yeah, he's 4-4. If he wins, like,
he has to kind of win out, honestly.
Yeah, he kind of has to win out, or like if Piran beats Sella, that could potentially boost him up into into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Well, since Dix took over, he hasn't lost a match yet, so I think that's a good sign, really, for him. So all he really needs to do is keep pushing.
Did he play any of the matches?
Sorry, did he play any of the matches that we initially had Godzilla as forfeiting? I think
he asked to, and they all denied him.
No. So wasn't it only Griffin that was okay with it? Like,
I think so.
I think Star. I remember one of his matches was Star said no.
Yeah, Star said no. Fire Eye also said no. So it was only Griffin that was able to just give him that rematch. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So Dix actually just has Cell, like you said, and he has who else does he have? He has Ryan. And then he has Gannon. So, not too bad for the end of his season. He just needs to be able to win those 3 matches.
Or at least 2 of them. If he wins with Cell, that will be a big boost for sure.
The thing is that if he only wins 2, he has to count on like the 2 people ahead of him to kind of lose as well. So. It could get risky if he doesn't end up winning all 3.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can talk about our number 6 in the standings right now. We have Cello and his Copenhagen Canines. He's doing pretty well for himself.
We had him at ranked number 3 in the PRs.
It was 3, yeah. We had him at 3 for the power rankings.
There's still hope. I think he can make it. He's begun his winning streak again.
Yeah. Yeah, he when he first started, he was 3-0, and then he eventually started falling off, and he lost a couple games.
Well, he lost 1 game, then he lost 2 in a row. He won last week.
So but he's back on his winning streak. I think he just faced was it Ryan he just faced?
So, and he blew Ryan back. It was like
Ryan was doing really well too.
Yeah, and now, like, Ryan was on a streak, and then it kind of ended there, but, they're pretty close. Like, Cell's trying to bring Ryan down so that he can get up there, obviously. But his team...
Well, they're tied, right?
Yeah, it's just that Ryan has a better depth. But
but Ryan also has Megalodios. So.
Yeah, Megalodios makes all the difference.
It definitely does.
But Cell's been doing a good job with that Tapu Koko. He was able to get 14 kills with it so far. So, and then the Celebi, I think
in his match against Ryan, the Z Fairy.
And the Latias.
It was for the Latias, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, guessing it was Dazzling Gleam.
It was, yeah, for sure.
If I didn't know any better looking at his roster, I'd say Celebi was a good Pokemon. Luckily, I'm well informed. I know it's trash.
Yeah.
It is not trash.
I think I think Cello is trying to prove us wrong that Celebi shouldn't be in Tier 3 there. Because he is starting to get some kills with it. 8 kills. So...
Yeah. 8 and 5 isn't enough for me to think that. Didn't it go undrafted in something?
I thought it went drafted in every league, but it might have gotten dropped.
It did, but I dropped it.
Yeah. Tyler dropped it, eventually.
The smart move.
Well, anyways.
Celebi is GOAT. I'll prove it sometimes.
I don't know.
It's cheap at Tier 3 where we have it.
It does a lot.
Yeah.
Keep it Tier 3, but I still think that's where it belongs.
I think it's pretty good at Tier 3. I wouldn't pick it up at Tier 2, honestly, but... Alright, so Cell still has Dix left, and he has... who else does he have? He has Ganon left, and then he also has Piran left. So... Okay. He has some decent competition left. He has 3 guys that are lower on the standings, I believe.
Yeah, a couple guys that are right there trying to fight for a playoff spot. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, it could be smooth sailing for Cell if he plays his cards right. Otherwise, he has to kind of watch out and not underestimate the guys that are trying to get into playoffs. So, especially against Dix, it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Next is Ryan, who we have at number 5, and he's been doing amazing throughout this season.
I mean, his team is pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
what's interesting
he was ranked 6th.
Was he? Yeah, he was 6th in our power rankings. Interesting is last season when he was in the C League, he almost made it to B. Like, he was really close. It just came down to like a couple differential points.
Yeah, it was mirroring.
You should take into account that he was 6 on the PRs before picking up Megalodios.
Yeah, he was 6 before picking up Megalodios. And now that he has, like, I think Ryan has the most kills on a team, like, out of all 3 leagues.
That's fair.
The chances of him making D League are looking pretty slim right now.
Especially with his, the Latias. Latias is at
playoffs with Calm Mind Latias.
Just his Latias alone has 19 kills. That's more kills than anything else in all 3 leagues.
And that's not even on a full season. That's from when he picked it up.
Yeah, that's from when he picked it up.
Stupid.
I think he picked it up when, like, he picked it up week 2, I think. Yeah, he picked it up week 2.
I swear to God, power creeps this thing enough that it isn't banned next season.
No, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it around.
I want to draft it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, if I'm first overall, we keep
it. Yeah, that's right. So.
Otherwise, it gets boot.
So, anyways, Ryan, he doesn't only have Megalodios, which is why he's doing well. He has Landorus, Therian as well. He has things like Zera Aura. So all these things kind of equate to him doing well. Like, obviously he's giving Latias most of his kills, but he still has a pretty good team. Like, it's pretty bulky. He has Articuno now. So I don't know if that's going to make any difference, but I don't think he really even needs it with the rest of the core that he has.
I think it helps a little bit with prep because people really want to bring rocks. He already has a reliable Q-card with him.
Like, yeah, his team is still kind of weak to rocks, but he has a spinner and he has a defogger. It's not the big
rocks, they're not toxic in the Megalodios. So they probably already lost.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's just gonna set up a sub or start call mining on you. So Ryan's last 3 matches are. He didn't play his match yet.
He hasn't even done this week's match. It's gonna have.
So, what's his match this week? Oh, he has Piran this week.
Okay.
And then he has Dix next week, and then he has Risso to end the season. So
I seen Incineroar on Piran's squad. There's hope.
Now you just have to bring Surf if that's gonna do anything.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah, a real chunk. So he still has some competition he has to go through before he ends the season, but if he does it, he'll be able to climb to B League like he originally wanted.
B League's gonna be really interesting next season.
Next season for sure, especially with.
For sure.
I mean, next season in general, just anyways,
Yeah, well, it's gonna be everything's gonna be new.
Yeah, everything's gonna be
just
new.
the divisions are gonna be pretty neat.
Anyways, without getting too caught up in that, we can talk about our number 4 on the standings, which is the Cairo Camels and Star. And originally, I think we had Star at like number 8 in the power rankings.
Yeah, that's correct.
And now he's sitting at number 4, and he's doing pretty decently. He's been able to like bring a lot of interesting sets for sure.
He made some changes.
Yeah, he made a lot of changes.
He became a lot better
with especially with the Charizard.
I initially thought that was a bad move, but
he asked me about his team, and it was so slow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had the Mega fast as shit, but
he has a tornado now.
which is why it's hard. But
Zard's been doing well for him.
Pretty well.
Like
yeah.
His Zard has gotten 11 kills. It's surprisingly something that I didn't think would get a lot of kills is that Electros that he's been bringing, but I think he knows how to use it properly. You know, and like he's been using some interesting sets with it. Like I think against Griffin he brought the belly drum set with Charizard, so that was pretty fun to see. I don't think it was really necessary, especially if Clefable was...
you would bring Swords to answer probably fine, but gotta do it for the cult.
I still think if Clefable was unaware, it would have kind of... I don't know, I understand that Clefable...
It wouldn't have...
Like,
it gets to it KO'd, but
it still gets to it KO'd, yeah.
If you're not sub, then it's gonna Thunderwave you, and then...
Exactly, yeah. That's the other thing, so... but I guess he took a risk there. He thought that the Clefable wasn't going to be Magic Guard, or wasn't going to be unaware, or he would have knocked it out before the Charizard came in. But
it was Magic Guard. So
yeah, it was Magic Guard, so it worked out for him. But yeah, anyways, Star still has 2 more matches for this season.
Got left on his schedule.
He has the Brampton Ursaring, which is Wolf. And then he has Gryon. So, you know, it could be close. Like, Gryon's a good coach, so maybe Star's gonna have to really try against him. And you know, if he underestimates Wolf, Wolf could maybe clutch out a kill. But you know, it's gonna be really tough for Wolf. Obviously, like, you know, Star's been doing a great job.
So. Definitely gonna be listening to this. So if he makes B League, he's not allowed to quit. That's just. We're making the league.
Yeah, Star. Yeah. If you make the B League, you have to kind of continue on. You know, it's just the rule.
All your progress, dude. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and you know,
keep streaming, keep making vids.
Star has gotten a lot better player in the last few months.
He made a lot of finals, dude.
Yeah, and he's
made finals. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, man, you'll get one eventually. But just keep trying.
Let's continue.
Let's head up to our number 3, which is the Peterborough Palpitoads and Gryon. And I believe we actually had him pretty high on... did we have him high on... No, we had him at number 7, actually, in the power rankings initially.
That's not all.
The season was average, but... Yeah, and he got up to a rough start this season, and then he's racked off like 5 wins in a row.
Exactly.
So
he's still on his win streak. personally, I know that Grion's a really decent player. You know, he was able to show that just from his prep sometimes. And like if you look at who he's you know, who his kill leaders are, you know, he has Superior, which has been doing a lot of work for him, 11 kills, and then Victini. So he's been able to just utilize his strong mods. Obviously his Mega, like, it's kind of tough to really have Mega Odd Node kind of do anything, but like as long as he's just able to use it as a cleric and then have Celesteela and Superior and Victini do the work for him, you know, I think he's been doing well. And so yeah, and he surprisingly he hasn't even made any changes to his team. Like what we said earlier in the season was that he has 3 psychic types, which could have like hurt him, but he was still able to kind of make it work.
Watch your mouth.
Well, it's better 3 psychic types than 11.
We're talking
right?
to the mono psychic type lord right here, but I'm just saying, like, you know, without a dark type, that Necrozma or
4 psychic types. Come on.
Yeah.
What's
could be 11.
It's better, yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It works.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying, like, without a dark type, Reuniclus or Necrozma is going to be a thing, right? But you know, he's been making it work. The thing is that when he did face Riss, and Riss is
absolutely destroyed by that Reuniclus.
He couldn't do too much there because Reuniclus was just a monster at that point. So
yeah, 6-0-1 matchup, like. You can't do anything if you don't have a dark type versus that mod.
It was tough because you let Reuniclus get any kind of momentum and then it kind of just sweeps. So, I mean, Metagross does 4 times resist. Not
yeah, but like, you know, that don't really matter when you're +6 defense.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so we're looking at Gryon, and he still has what 3 more matches. He has Fire Eye, and then he has Caitlyn, and then he has Star. So he has some.
Ooh,
that's
gonna be interesting.
Yeah, he has Star and Caitlyn to finish off his season.
And versus Star is gonna be a big match.
That will be a pretty decent match. Week 11 is gonna be some really good matches, I think. So. But with that, we can continue up to our number 2, which is Rousseau and his Oklahoma Heatmore. You know, originally we had him at number 2, and that's where he's sitting. So I think we were right, you know. And yeah, I don't know.
I think what we did, remembering back when we did the initial PR, we had each coach or whatever give their own PRs. I think I had him at 1.
Did you? Yeah, I think a lot of people had him at 1, and
he was at 1 for a lot of people. Ganon has a stronger draft. I think.
It was just Ganon's draft was just you know, he drafted everything that was of value for that tier, so he was able to like make the synergy work. But I don't think like he personally wasn't comfortable with the draft, maybe, or he just wasn't able to make it work. But Riss, obviously, you know, he knows what his mons do, and he had a very nice draft. Obviously, he's changed a lot of things.
He knows what his mons do. He's got an 0-3 Scolipede.
Yeah. I mean, Scolipede, it's tier 1, which I'm still debating on, but it's
not tier 1. Like, there's no way that mon should be tier 1.
It should be. So without the baton pass, like, I don't think Scolipede should be tier 1, but like, I can understand why it's good because of speed boosts, you know. But anyways, he's been able to make Kieran Black and Reuniclus work, so
that's pretty solid there.
You know, you can't really say too much though. Obviously, Rizzo, he knows how to work his team, and you know, he's been making everything work.
Who's left on his?
Riz, I think he still has he has Ganon this week, and then he has Gryon. No, he doesn't have Gryon. He has Piran next week, and then he has Ryan for the final week. So some interesting matches for sure. He has to just watch himself. Obviously,
that match was Ryan's strength.
Obviously, like his match versus Dix. You know,
that was unfortunate.
it was kind of a train wreck, but Like he, I think at that point, like a loss didn't really make too much of a difference. So,
Yeah.
he's sitting at 6-2, so he obviously has some breathing room there. But you know, Grion and Star are trying to catch up to him at this point, so he has to kind of keep his
last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff happening down there.
Well, I think the 1 seed is already, but
yeah, Caitlin's already at this point.
I think there's still a chance she might drop.
At this point, hey, you know what? Yeah, if she loses the last 2 matches, and you know, Riss wins the last one, he's able to make it happen. But anyways, that actually does lead us to the Oaksville Oshawots and Caitlin at number 1. Now, originally, Caitlin, you know, she wasn't in our power rankings when we made them.
She took over for Jackson. So
yeah, and we had Jackson at what?
9.
Number 9.
Yeah.
So Caitlin is just
around.
Yeah, she's just a force to be reckoned with. You know, I don't think
she's just beasting and feasting on C-League right now.
Yeah.
So she's a bad player. Nothing else to it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the 9-0 there, you can't really say too much. That's just the perfect record that you could have going into playoffs. She's gonna be number 1 seed for sure. If anyone can beat her at this point, you know, they're probably gonna be the favorite to win C-League. But I think Caitlin.
Well, Nathan Griffin.
What?
Griffin is going to be her only loss, and everybody's going to be hyped for it.
Yeah, exactly. Griffin, if you can take the only coach in the league with no
you
losses,
basically win the league at that point, right? Like if you beat the best person.
If you beat the best, then you kind of just win the league, honestly. Caitlin, at this point, throughout all 3 leagues, is the only undefeated coach. So if you beat her, then
what's the excuse, huh?
So Caitlin only has Grion and then Griffin, like you said. So you know, I don't know if you know, if she has too much competition there, but Grion's probably gonna try his best to bring her down.
Does she have Grion next?
It's next week, yeah. Because she's already played Star this week.
So if she beats Grion 1 seed, which means she might just win. So Griffin might have a chance if that happens.
Hey, you never know, exactly. Because that means that everyone starts moving up and then people move down, right? So,
call my new sweep.
yeah.